Good morning. What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing out there? Hope you guys having a blessed morning. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Hope everybody is being safe and being warm because it's been cold lately, especially here in Georgia. Okay. So, girls just wanted to just pop in and give a little faith and motivation. Everybody needs faith and everybody needs motivation um, to press in their life. Um, for the last couple of days, I needed faith and motivation. I have been struggling with the gum infection, and if I talk a little funny, that is why. My cheek is kind of puffy over here, but thank God that I feel a lot better today than I did the last couple days. So I just wanted to come on and just talk about faith and motivation. What is your faith and what is motivating you? A lot of times when we hear about faith, we, you know, just automatically, go into, religion and what your belief is, you know. But faith is basically just believing in something happening that hasn't happened yet. So it can apply to all religions or background um, in that manner. If you want to get real specific about it, faith with Christianity, of course, what the word says that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, which is the same thing as I'm believing for something to happen that has not happened yet. So faith requires work as well. So what I mean by that is, again, uh, scripture says, Bible says, faith without works is dead. So that means that I have to act upon it as well. For example, you um, may be having faith for a certain job that you may want to acquire for. And you may be thinking, well, I'm not qualified for that particular job. Okay. So, the faith part of it is believing that you can have that job. But the work part of it is, what do I have to do to obtain this job? I may have to go back to school for a certain skill set to just be qualified for this job. So that is the work part of the faith movement of that. So faith is believing, but the work part is I got to do something on my part to tie it all together. Okay. And so being motivated, you have to believe that you can achieve anything your mind is set to. You have to believe that. I know it's tough in these days right now. The economy is kind of bad, and everybody is struggling to make ends meet. And there are days where you feel like, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it. It's hard. People are depressed with anxiety and everything. But I'm here to tell you that you can make it. You can make it. Um, it takes faith to step out on nothing and believe that something is there, and you stay motivated, believing that better days are coming. Better days are coming. Um, I have to tell myself a lot of times, hey, Jay, it you may not be where you want to be right now, but get a plan of action, get a plan of faith, and work towards it. Work towards it. Again, like I said, faith without works is dead. And you have to be motivated to where you want to go, whether it is a new job, a new house, car, whatever it may be. You have to work towards it. Not only just believe, but you have to do the work with it. And I think a lot of times that we can believe, but the work part can be the hardest for some people. Um, I don't really want to say, yes, I do. Okay. Like people just sit and talk about shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? And what that simply means that, oh, I could have done this or I should have done that, if I only just have did this many moons ago, okay? We can sit and talk along those lines all day long. But what are we going to do for the present so that the future can come into play? Okay, so that is where your faith comes in and the work that goes along with it. So, again, like I said, if you are a believer in the Word of God, faith without works is dead. I am a firm believer that faith without works is dead. So, you have to put the work behind what you believe. Whatever it is that you believe is going to require you to do something. Oh, yes. It's not just going to require you to just sit there and just think on good things. Just think on good thoughts. Now, that's a part of it because you're creating a positive atmosphere. You're creating an atmosphere that your faith can work. But you do have to do the work. I'll give you an example. I became a first-time homeowner a little over a year ago. And when I set out on the journey, it seemed like it was just a mountain. I was like, Lord, I really want to be a homeowner. I really want my kids to grow up in a home. I need a front yard and a backyard, you know? And so I was always fearful of, oh my God, my credit is just toe up from the floor up. And I'm just not going to be able to get approved for a mortgage loan. So I had all of those things running through my mind, and it kind of kept me stagnated for a minute. So, when I lived in an apartment, for the last time, I really got serious about it. I really got serious about it. It was something that I really, really wanted for myself and for my family. And so I told my children, I said, look, I said, Mama is going to take 2 years. I'm going to give y'all 2 years and we're going to be in a home. And I stuck with that. Now, that was the faith part of telling my kids that in 2 years, their mama is going to have them in a home, okay? That was the faith part. Now, here comes the work part. Listen up. Okay, so I had to execute a plan of action. Had to get the work in motion. And by that, my work required that I had to have my credit pulled. I had to see where I stand. Then I had some medical bills that I just started paying on. First thing that I'll back up just a little bit. First thing that I did was I had signed up with this credit company that was promising to fix my credit. I let that course ran for a couple months until I decided, hey, what y'all doing, I can do myself, okay? So 86 that went and took out a revolving loan at my current bank. Just started paying on that loan. Again, was paying on some medical bills. We're working it right here, okay? So not only was I doing that, I was also taking a homeowners class. Sometimes your city, I like my city, they will have home ownership classes that you can take that will teach you the ins and outs of becoming a homeowner and which loans are available to you and what you may qualify for. So I went through that program. I made a sacrifice and I went through that program and that training. That was one avenue right there. Um, Also, I had another avenue that I was going through, Habitat for Humanity. They started back taking applications in my area, and I jumped on it. I went and got an application. I started filling out the paperwork, gathering whatever documents that I may need it. That was another plan. So that was another plan too. And the third plan was trying to obtain a mortgage through my bank. Now, my bank was a credit union and is a credit union, and I had banked with them for years, So I decided to try to apply for a loan with them. And I was thinking, maybe because I banked with them for years, they would be able to give me a loan. And so I applied for a loan with them and was waiting on them to, give me, the notion of, is it a yay or is it a nay? They eventually called me back, and they denied my loan. And it wasn't because of credit. It was just income, So I got kind of, discouraged about it and everything. And, I could hear God say, somewhere there's a yes. Somewhere there's a yes. Okay. So that was a faith builder right there for me. Somewhere there's a yes. And to kind of back it up a little bit, with the homeowners training class that was assisting me with home ownership, it just seems like I jumped on the ship and I was floating. Okay. Nobody else reached out to me. They gave me a plan of action to work on, which I was trying to do, but I couldn't get any other assistance from them. And so, and with the Habitat thing, I was very close with turning in everything. I had like one more document. But in the midst of that, one Sunday, I was looking at a house online. I was trying to... Ooh, I'm so sorry. Apologize for that sneezing. One Sunday morning, I was looking at a house online, and I don't know if you ever been online looking at a house and they'll ask you to put your email in, which I don't understand why. So I was like, okay, I'll put my email in because I really wanted to look at the house. And so put my email in, looked at the house and everything. And lo and behold, the realtor I knew, he was my kids' assistant principal at their previous school. So I was like, okay, then, So I left the house, didn't think no more about it. Probably like a few days later, I get a phone call while I'm at work. And so, he was like, well, hey, how you doing? I noticed that you looked at a house online, and it seems like you may be interested in home ownership. So I said, yeah, I am interested in buying a home. But mind you, at this time, I had applied at my credit union for a homeowner loan. So I was waiting back on word for them to tell me, was it a yay or nay? So he proceeded to go ahead and tell me about, and it was my kid's assistant principal that was calling me, okay? So he proceeded to tell me that, what their mortgage company, realtor, company had to offer. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds good and everything, But I said, I've also, applied for, a loan at my credit union. So he was just like, okay, well, I'll just have my mortgage guy to call you, okay? So I said, oh, okay then, just kind of blowing it off like, okay, whatever, thank you, have a nice day. So, and then like I said, I want to say maybe a day later, his mortgage guy called me, and he was like, hi, just, wanted to fill you in on what our mortgage company does and this, that, and other. And so again, I told him, I said, hey, I applied for a mortgage loan at my local bank. And so I'm waiting back to hear word from them. And so he was like, well, okay, then, well, if that doesn't work out, just give me a call back. Again, I'm like, whatever, okay, thank you. Have a good day. So, a couple days later, I get the damper. My bank calls me and tells me that I do not qualify for a home loan. So, after that, like I said again, trying to rebuild my faith, I can hear the Spirit of God say, somewhere there is a yes. And I was in my car at a traffic light when I heard that word. And I began to start rebuilding my faith. Okay? And I also began to start being motivated again, not to give up because that situation didn't work for me. Perhaps God has another way for it to work out for me. And so, several days after that, one Saturday afternoon, I was laying across my bed taking a nap. And my oldest, she had my phone. So she ran into the room and she was like, Mama, you got a phone call. So I get the phone and say, hello. Well, lo and behold, it's my kid's former assistant principal, which is a realtor. And he was like, I just called to tell you that you just got approved for da-da-da amount house loan. And I was like, huh? He was like, yes, my mortgage guy didn't call you to tell you? And I was like, no. And by this time, I'm sitting up on the edge of the bed like, how? Who? And so he was like, yes. He said, I just need your approval letter from the mortgage guy so we can start looking for you a house. And you guys, I was just like pinching myself. Okay? I was like, did this phone call just really happen? So I sit up being super excited and I was just like, wow. I was like, Lord, what did I say? What did I do? Because I didn't have much conversation with him prior to then, And so with that being said, I went through the process. That was a faith movement all by itself. Going through the process of buying a home is not for the faint of heart. It truly is. It requires much encouragement and motivation when you're doing the process. And so, but it was a faith builder for me. I mean, for the simple fact that I didn't give up. And I say to this day that God did a miracle for me with buying my home, because the way that I wanted to buy my home was the way that God worked it out, the way that I did buy my home, which was through a mortgage company, because I was trying to go through low income habitat. I was trying to go through assistance. See, I'm talking a little funny. Assistance through the city where I live, to buy a home. But God did it the way that I thought was the hardest to do. Yes. So that's why I am motivating you guys today to faith without works is dead. You have to put the work in. And to be motivated is to tell yourself, to see yourself at the finish line, that I will finish school. I will obtain a mortgage. I will, get a new car. Whatever it is that your goals for 2025 is. Stay faithful and be motivated. Like I said, we're living in times now of where, it's so much chaos going on, so much destruction that is going on, you guys. So we really have to be prayerful and we have to be vigilant every day. That's what the word says that we should do as believers, that no matter what we see around us, we still have to be faithful. We have to be sober and we have to be vigilant. So we got to be prayerful and we got to be watchful as well. So believing that God will show up in your life, and he will still do wonders no matter what is going on, because he's concerned about you. Stay faithful, stay motivated, do what you need to do, and get out there and work out your faith. Work out your faith and watch God move on your behalf. This is your girl, Jennifer the Bargain Hunter, here with Faith and Motivation. Y'all stay blessed.